Okay, so I've always wanted to be an artist. I knew about this even when I was in kindergarten. I loved painting, I loved drawing. I always loved drawing people, portraits, that's my strong point. I've always done this, like my whole life. I did this more than probably anything else. But now it's changing, you know. I've kind of pulled away from figurative, and even in the background here I'm kind of playing around with kind of abstract shapes and that kind of thing. So I go right into abstract sometime. Okay, so this is kind of a transition piece, kind of going back and forth, you know, very realistic in some way, but I'm really trying to lose it, you know, with especially something like that. And getting into this really quick body movement stuff here, this is where I'm really starting to have a lot of fun with my art. I'm at a stage now where I'm really experimenting, and it's just more creative for me. So other pieces I've done that are far more abstract. In fact, you probably wouldn't even know what it was until you heard the title. Something like that. I mean, something like this I had so much fun with, and I do think you've got to have fun with your artwork. So this is what I try and do more and more. Be playful, and by experimenting, and then you can create much more interesting things, I think. So this is certainly the one behind me too, very abstract, and I call it sea kelp because I just love the movement of the water. This area, you know, we're surrounded by the Pacific, surrounded with water, and just the November storms that came up and just washed all that sea kelp all over the place. I was just mesmerized watching the sea and that. So that was a lot of fun. So this is where I'm going with all of my work. Or not all of it. I'll always be a fan of figurative. I'll always be drawing the human body. That's the biggest challenge I think an artist can ever take on, something like that. I have to confess, I fell in love with Billy the Kid, and this all happened because I read Michael Ondaatje's book, The Complete Works of Billy the Kid, which is a very great collection. It's all fiction, but it really gets into the heart and soul of Billy, so I'm just transformed, and I'm not finished with Billy yet. I'm doing a lot of work based on Ondaatje's poetry and the prose that he's written about Billy. An archetype, more of an archetype. The tragic hero, that entire thing is going on. And I titled them too, you know, the last ride of Billy the Kid. And this one is of Billy. He's waiting his fate. He's waiting for the arrival of Pat Garrett, who of course killed Billy one moonlit night. And it's just Billy enters the American psyche.
What do you want to do? You want to go get that out? Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I'm really caught in the middle, you know, to go abstract, go figurative, or do I bring the two together? And this is a good example where I did that. I began this just with big shapes like that. And then this figure just started coming out, and I just worked with that and put her into this, it's called tidal pool, almost like she's lying in a seabed, you know, with the tide whirling around her. But this is actually one of my first semi-abstract, semi-figurative works. I like putting the two ideas together.